Hello everyone, welcome to our channel iTeach. So today we are going to discuss an important topic of general studies, that is polity. And in polity we'll be discussing today nation and state, constitution, framing of the Indian constitution, and then nature of the Indian constitution and sources of Indian constitution. So, if we talk about nation and state, we'll have to understand the concept of nation and state first. So, what is nation? Nation is basically a cultural entity, group of people having feeling of oneness. Nation building is in the minds of the people, means it is a mental concept. Feeling of group of people means feeling of oneness and proud. So feeling of oneness and proud makes a nation. So nation building is a long ongoing process. Until the existence of state, this concept will go on. If we talk about state, state is basically a political entity having four characteristics. First is territory, second is people or citizen of the territory, third is government of that territory, and sovereignty. You can say that state is a polity under a system of governance. According to Max Weber, it is a polity that maintains a monopoly on the legitimate use of violence. Some states are sovereign, known as sovereign states, while others are subject to external sovereignty or hegemony, wherein supreme authority lies in another state. Let's take some example of nation and state. If we talk about one nation and two states, its examples are Korea and Germany, because Korea is a nation having two states, North Korea and South Korea, and Germany a nation, earlier East Germany and West Germany. If we take the example of one state, two nation, it is Sri Lanka. Means Sri Lanka is a state, but there are Tamilians and Sinhalese. They both are having different kind of oneness. So this is one state, two nation example. And if we talk about nation with no state, its example is Palestine, because Palestine is a nation, but there is no state because they don't have any territory or government or sovereign. That's why they are nation with no state. So every country's ultimate aim is to make a nation state, means boundary of people, feeling and boundary of state is same. So nation state example is Japan. India wants to be a nation state. India is a state with many nations inside. India as a country came first and then we are trying to create a nation. So India is a young nation in making. If we talk about a state's territory, there are two types of people in a territory, citizens and aliens. Citizens are those who enjoy full rights or membership in a society. And aliens are basically of two types, friendly aliens and enemy aliens. And aliens are those who don't have full rights. And they are basically friendly aliens, means people with allies, friendly countries, and enemy aliens means people are from those countries we are at war with them. So if we talk about citizenship, so citizens get citizenship, and citizenship is basically a concept of democracy. In a kingdom there are subjects, but fundamental difference is that citizens participating in decision making, whereas subjects are just affected by decisions. If we talk about sovereignty, sovereignty is undisputed legal authority over the people and the territory, or power to take independent decisions. No outside guidance or pressure, not subject to any influence or oppression. For example, if we talk about Indo-nuclear deal, it was extremely criticized by some groups, and it was said that it is against the sovereignty of India. But at that time, the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said that it is his sovereign right to enter into the deal to reap the benefits. There are two conditions of sovereignty. First is external recognition is required, and second is sovereignty is not absolute in practice. So, what does it mean? External recognition is required means recognition from the rest of the world and especially from the UN. For example, Kosovo declared its independence in 2000 but not accepted by the world and UN. Taiwan, for example, is doing the same, but it's not a sovereign state because China says it's not a sovereign state, it is the integral part of the China. Actually, Taiwan was accepted by few small nations but not UN. That's why it is not still a sovereign state. If we talk about absolute in practice, sovereignty is actually not absolute in practice. For example, UN, Commonwealth, SAARC, WTO, all these organizations, if a sovereign country join these organizations, after entering it into these organizations, once we don't have absolute power, we are abide by that organization's rule. Another example is globalization. As we are moving further into the globalization, we are losing our sovereignty. If we talk about government, so what is government? Government is a set of institutions and individuals occupying these institutions and procedures for constituting these institutions for the exercise of power. The state exercise sovereignty over the territory and people through the government. So government is an essential organ of the state, means first state and then government. State has sovereignty but government has limited powers, means we can criticize the government but we can't criticize the state. Opposition to government is legitimate. Now let's understand the constitution. So what is constitution? Constitution is a supreme fundamental law of the country which not only defines the framework of the basic political principles but also establishes what the different government institutions should do in terms of procedures, process, and powers. The parliament cannot override it because the constitution was created by a special constituent assembly and it enjoys a special legal sanctity and also contains the faith and aspiration of the people. A constitution is the vehicle of the nation's progress. Therefore, we can say that a constitution is the fundamental law of the state containing the principles upon which government is founded, regulating the division of the sovereign powers and directing to what persons each of these power to be confined and the manner in which it is to be exercised. But constitution is different from constitutionalism because constitutionalism is a set of political value and inspiration that reflects the desire to protect liberty through the establishment of internal and external checks on government powers. That is, constitutionalism is a species of political liberalism. Thus, constitution is a compromise between rights of the people and powers of the government. We don't want absolute power with government and absolute rights with the people. So to control the absolute power and absolute right, we have constitution. Constitution is not static, rather it is dynamic. So we can amend the constitution through article 368. Constitution can be written and cannot be written. Means if we take example, UK still have unwritten constitution. Why it's like that? That Britishers have unwritten constitution? Because Britishers have a different sense of heritage and history. They cherish their History. Britishers are protecting this unwrittenness where their democracy started. In 1214, by writing of Magna Carta regarding the then rights of the people, it was first written document in the world. Since in UK there is unwritten constitution, the parliament is supreme, and in India constitution is supreme, where every organ draws its authority from constitution. Thus India has two types of laws: constitutional laws, more difficult to change, and other is ordinary laws, easy to change. Constitutional laws is not there in UK. Only ordinary laws is there in UK. So there is only ordinary law in UK, and hence unwritten constitution is the most flexible law. So if we talk about history of Indian constitution, I have already discussed it in our previous lecture. So you can get the link from the description box below.